What's up, guys? Anklespankin here, and today we are doing a bit of a different video. I usually do not do these, but this one is huge. AD carry or marksman, whatever you want to call it. Huge AD carry or marksman changes coming in what we're guessing will be patch 8.11. So naturally, as an AD carry main, I would like to look at this. Now, these changes are actually, like I said, very huge. They're making very, very large changes all around the board. And to start with, the first thing they're really doing is they're getting rid of how powerful the influence of AD carry is at this point in the game. They're just making it like right now in League, if you're playing a crit AD carry or a hyper carry, it doesn't matter how you do in lane, you get 2 items and you're huge, right? Like you get your Infinity Edge, you get your Rapid Fire Cannon, you're huge, you're a monster. So they're changing the way that works. They're actually nerfing Zeal, and they're reworking Infinity Edge. They haven't decided fully on what they're going to do yet, but we'll hit that in a second. Now, what their whole goal is here is that they're trying to make sure that AD carries don't turn on so quickly. And they're trying to make it so if you actually do get destroyed in lane, it's noticeable. Like, you do not get to come out of lane still a monster, even if you're 0 and 7. So they're changing the way that works, and if you get shit on, you got shit on. Like, it's actually going to be impactful. So that much is good. This could be the death of full crit AD carries, right? Like, the way they're changing everything, this could actually be the death of full crit AD carries. So maybe welcome back Lucian? Maybe? But Lucian, Draven, I think, is going to make a pretty big comeback here as far as, I mean, Draven's already terrifying, but he's making more comebacks. Now, going down here a little bit, what they were saying with the reworking Infinity Edge, I've, of course, already read this, but Infinity Edge is going to be an item that's really good later in the game, and not so good early in the game. They don't want it to be a crit multiplier anymore. What they're actually thinking is that they're going to change it to deal additional true damage like Conqueror. So whenever you crit, it'll deal additional true damage. So they're trying to make crit something along the lines of tank melting? I don't know. We'll have to see how that comes later, and like I said, patch 8.11. So, but with that though, to kind of counteract even more how safe bot lane is, they also are nerfing base health regen across the board. So AD carries can't just like, oh, I got poked. Ooh, I'm going to go hide now. No, you can't do that. You actually, if you get poked, it's noticeable. And they're also nerfing fleet footwork. So not as much sustain there once again. So this could actually mean a lot of new things for supports too. I'm very interested in how the support meta is going to shift, because if AD carries can't just sustain for themselves, maybe, you know, your Nami, your Soraka are really going to be way up at the top instead of like these tank initiation supports that try and just snowball a lane. I don't know. I actually feel like those will be better if this is what's going to happen. Because if making a lead in bot lane is even more impactful now, maybe these playmaking supports are going to be the top dogs. Because if you're a good support, you can get your dumbass AD carry baby fed, and you can just hold his hand while he goes and just lets himself right click on things. But going on to the other changes here, they are reworking Essence Reaver. They're adding a new item in the BF Sword chain called Storm Razor. They are changing Last Whisper again. They are adding a new Domination Keystone and slight Blade of the Rune King and Bloodthirster buffs. Let me go over these real fast with what we know. So, reworking Essence Reaver, I didn't see anything yet to really clarify exactly what they're doing, but they're making it, instead of dependent on crit, that they want to be an item you can buy alone and have it be impactful. So, as they say, it'll still reward combat patterns that combine auto attacks and spellcasts, but without a dependency on crit. So, that's pretty neat. We'll see how that comes out. The new BF Sword upgrade is going to be called Storm Razor. And what it does is we can actually just go look at this real fast. So this is what Stormrazor actually does. 3,400 gold, 65 AD, 25% attack speed. If you haven't attacked in the last 2.5 seconds, your next basic attack will critically strike. And when you critically strike, gain 25% attack speed and 8% movement speed for 1.5 seconds. Now to me, that just sounds like a little steroid for your crit. And it kind of sounds like an AD carry's version of Duskblade, does it not? Like, that's exactly what it sounds like to me. But we'll see how this goes. And yeah, they're already nervous about it too. I'm concerned with how strong a Draven or a Jhin or a Quinn even is going to be if they get Stormrazor and Duskblade and just go full burst, right? Because people already hate the whole, like, one auto, one shot meta. They hate that. So I'm very curious to see if they're going to make it like a shared passive name, so it's not able to get both Duskblade and Stormrazor, but we will see. So, going on from Stormrazor, the last Whisper changes. They are making it back to total penetration as opposed to bonus penetration. And if you don't know what that means, a while back, Last Whisper items were changed to bonus penetration, meaning the armor that the Last Whisper penetrated was only the armor that champions had built. So, if you have 70 base armor, your Last Whisper currently is not touching that. It would only touch armor that they built, such as, Chain Vest, Randuin's, Deadman's, Sunfire Cape, any armor item. It would only go through that. So, what they're doing, making it total armor penetration, is that they're making it better against champions that aren't building tank, and they're making it better for champions that want to burst harder, like lethality champions. So, total armor penetration goes through all of your armor. So, instead of 40% of your bonus armor, it's 40% of all of your armor. So, that'll be really good for assassins, burst AD carries, every AD carry ever. So we'll see how that goes. Also, they're just a little side thing with Lord Dominic's regards, giving you more damage to tanks based on how much more health they have than you. They're taking that off because don't need that with total penetration. For the last two things, though, I'll just go over the very quick little things. Blade of the Ruined King, Bloodthirster, just efficiency buffs. I believe there was one saying, Bork is 200 cheaper, and that is, of course, subject to change between now and 8.11. As is all of this, by the way. Nothing here is set in stone yet, but they didn't say anything about Bloodthirster, so I'm assuming it's going to be a very similar buff to Bloodthirster, so, Blade of the Ruined King, Bloodthirster, 200 gold cheaper each. We'll see. And then the new Domination Keystone, Hail of Blades. So what they're saying, all they've said so far, I read through everything that I saw, I might have missed something, but it has similar goals as Stormrazor. So I'm curious how this is going to work. Is it going to be a very bursty thing? Is it going to be like another version of Electrocute where you get more attacks off on something and it hits them harder? Is it going to be something even like Callista's Rend is what I was thinking. Maybe they want it to synergize with some sort of crit where, for example, if you hit 3 autos that don't crit, you get this stacking buff, and when you crit, it'll consume this buff and deal a big burst of damage with multiple blades stabbing into them or something. I don't know. Sounds cool, but also sounds broken as hell the way I just explained it. So we don't know what Hail of Blades is going to be yet, but it's always very exciting to see a new Keystone in any tree, because that, of course, opens up the way for me to get things rolling to just mess around more. Also, just one little thing they're also doing is that they are taking 4 base AD off of all AD carries and moving it to AD scaling. So what they're doing is they're trying to make it so it's very clear when you have a leaving lane, right? Like right now, if you have a leaving lane, you don't really notice it. It's just how it is. Unless you're absolutely huge, you just don't really notice it usually. So they're making it so it's more impactful if you have a level up. You've got that much more AD. If you've got 2 levels up, you've got that much more AD. And with taking off AD, they're giving you little training wheels to help with your last hitting, so don't worry, you big old babies. And as far as all that was most of everything. These are just their little notes on their goals. So not really anything to talk about. If you guys do want to read through this yourself, this will be linked in the description below. Let me know what you guys think, because I honestly think this is going to be a sizable enough change that it'll actually change the way mid and bot work, and even jungle. Because the way that new Domination Keystone, changing Last Whisper, making Assassins more effective, it might even change the top meta, because tanks might not be as effective if all of their armor is being shredded. Who knows? We will see. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this, do leave a like in the comment. It really does help me out. And as always, I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace!